Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Awesome. So today we're going to look at something pretty fascinating, I think.
Okay.
The economic tidal wave, really, that Taylor Swift's Eras Tour is bringing to Vancouver.
Wow, that's a great way to put it. A tidal wave.
Yeah, I mean, you see these headlines, right?
Yeah.
Vancouver's bracing for like a $157 million boost to the city's economy just from these final three shows.
It's massive. Yeah.
It is absolutely massive, and I think it's a great example of like how pop culture
hmm
can really intersect with these bigger economic forces.
Absolutely. You can't just look at ticket sales, right?
Exactly.
It's so much more than that.
So where do we even begin to break down a number like $157 million?
Right. Well, if you look at the projections, it seems like about $97 million of that's going to be direct spending.
Okay.
Like, think about it. All the fans coming in, they need places to stay. They
Yeah.
got to eat. They're getting around the city.
Transportation, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's your hotels, your restaurants, all your transportation services.
Oh, Ubers and taxis and everything else.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's the ripple effect. That initial $97 million, it doesn't just sit there.
Right.
It starts circulating. People working at those hotels and restaurants, they're spending their income in the local economy, too.
It's like a chain reaction.
Exactly. And that's where the rest of that $157 million comes from. And what's really interesting is that 70% of that direct spending, so a huge chunk, is expected to come from fans traveling from outside Vancouver.
So it's not just local Swifties contributing to this. It's like a nationwide, maybe even international phenomenon.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that's why we're talking about a tourism boom. This isn't just about concerts. It's about Vancouver becoming a destination for Swifties from all over.
I mean, we've seen Vancouver host some pretty major events in the past.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the Olympics, the Stanley Cup Finals.
Right.
How does this kind of stack up against those in terms of economic impact?
Honestly, this is unlike anything we've seen before. Like, even the Olympics or the Stanley Cup, they don't come close to this level of projected economic activity.
Wow.
It's really unprecedented. And for some more context, think about what happened in Toronto.
Okay.
They had 6 sold-out Eras Tour shows earlier this year. Initial estimates were around $152 million in direct spending just from those concerts.
Wow.
But get this, that number ended up ballooning to $282 million as that money circulated through their economy.
So basically double the initial projection.
Pretty much. And Jarrett Bond, he's a professor over at UBC's SAR School of Business.
I know him.
Yeah, he's been saying that these Vancouver projections are very realistic, especially when you consider how local businesses are really getting creative and capitalizing on this whole Swiftie influx.
Yeah. I've seen so many places doing Swift-themed events and promotions and things like that.
Totally. You've got special drinks, Taylor-inspired menus, shops are decorating their windows. It's smart, right? They're creating this whole ecosystem around the concerts themselves.
Absolutely. It's not just like passive, oh, there are concerts, people will come. They're actively making it this like immersive experience.
Right, and that just adds to the overall economic activity.
Okay, so we've got the tourism boom, we've got local businesses capitalizing on this, but let's go back to that $157 million figure.
Yeah, let's break it down a bit further.
What other benefits are we looking at here?
Well, on top of the tourism revenue and the boost to businesses, there's the whole tax benefit to consider, right?
Okay.
Projections are saying over $27 million is going to go to various levels of government.
Wow.
That's a massive win for the city, right?
Absolutely.
And then if we want to zoom in a bit, get away from the big numbers, you can see how Vancouver is really going all out to welcome Swifties. They've got 13 Swift-themed lighting installations set up downtown.
Oh, I saw pictures of those. They're
They're amazing, right? And they've even got volunteers who are going to be stationed around the city to help fans get around, give them directions, that kind of thing. And they're even giving out these special Vancouver friendship bracelets.
It's like the city saying, hey, we're so glad you're here.
Exactly. They're really capitalizing on this cultural moment.
And it's not just about profits either. I read about the BC Place Community Benefits Program. They're actually using the Eras Tour to raise funds for local causes.
That's right. They're doing things like ticket donations and prize packages to generate support for the community.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a great example of how an event like this can have this really positive ripple effect that goes way beyond just the economic aspect. And you have to remember, this isn't just a one-off thing.
Right.
This is the final stop on a massive global tour, 5 continents, almost 150 performances.
Wow.
And almost every city on this tour has seen this same kind of economic impact.
It really speaks to the power of, like, Taylor Swift as a cultural figure.
Yeah, it goes way beyond just the entertainment industry. It's hotels, restaurants, transportation, local businesses, even charities.
It's pretty amazing.
It is. Even Mayor Ken Sim has said that hosting these final shows really helps solidify Vancouver's position as, like, a world-class destination.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me to see how one artist can create this ripple effect, not just in one city, but across the globe.
Absolutely.
But I'm wondering, could this kind of mega event model, is this something that could be replicated with other artists or even other types of events?
That's a really interesting question. And to be honest, I don't know if there's an easy answer.
Yeah.
You see the economic benefits, but at what cost, right?
Right.
Cities really need to think about this carefully. What kind of infrastructure do you need? Do you have the resources to manage an influx of this scale?
It's almost like you're building a small city within a city for a short period of time.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And then you have to consider the environmental impact, the sustainability.
Right. Right.
So it's a really complex conversation that cities need to be having if they're looking at this approach. It's not just about saying yes to every big event that comes along.
I think that's such a good point to end on, because this is really just the beginning of this conversation. We're going to see this mega event model play out more and more.
I think so too. It's going to be interesting to see what the long-term impacts are.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for diving into this with me. This was awesome.
Of course, it was a fascinating topic.
And to all our listeners, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.